All right, everybody, welcome to Ask Me Anything, November the 19th. Thanks, everybody, for their hard work. Just a couple of quick announcements and reminders. The assignment on 1724 to 1835, I kind of goofed up the original due date. I missed Thanksgiving because it's so late, and so I'm extending the due date on this to December 2nd. Which is the Monday after Thanksgiving. It's probably in your best interest just to get that done as soon as possible so you're not waiting until Monday and you can actually take off the time next week during reading week. Notice this is survey and interpretation. The final assignment is going to be the same way. Survey and interpretation. The final assignment is Matthew 27:55 to 28:20. It's the same thing, survey and interpretation. Make sure you read the instructions, watch the videos carefully so you know what I'm expecting. I sent out an announcement, I think yesterday, that has a selection of videos that are some reviews and also some encouragement. So make sure you have a look at of those so that you can take advantage of the teaching that I have there to review. Again, remember, everybody has a chance to do really well still this semester as the semester is weighted heavily on these final assignments. If you have any questions, reach out to me. I do want to show you a couple of things. I want to share the screen from the Course Center quickly with you just to have a look at what we have up here. Put myself up there. We're in this module 11. Again, notice due December 2nd. Have some videos in here. Make sure you take a look at my work and notice how I format it. I'm going to have the 1624 papers back. I'm hoping tomorrow on Wednesday, but worst case, it'll be Thursday. On a lot of papers I'm writing, see my work. Just notice the formatting. Notice how I do observations and inferences, and notice the different types of evidence that I use to answer the interpretive questions, because that's what we want to see. Also want to suggest that you take the time to watch these 3 videos that I shot. These are partially devotional, but they're exegetical. These are 3 short messages on 1621 to 28. And I think all 3 together are about a half hour. They're roughly 10 minutes apiece if they're even that long. Especially if you're going to skip all of them and just want to watch one, make sure you watch the new one that I just created. It came out, I think, really well. I think the whole series is outstanding, but don't miss the finale. So make sure you watch all of them, or if you skip the first 2, watch the last one. Again, you should be watching all the videos, of course, but I'm not naive because I can see the numbers on who watches what, and so. But I am saying, I think just for your own good, I think it's a really good, important word that you should take a look at that. That last video again. Notice your work. Final assignment is going to be due on the 13th. This is a Friday. The semester ends on Friday the 13th, and so it's going to close down, so you need to be on time. Everything else has been due on Saturdays. The last assignment's due on a Friday, so note that. I will be holding a final Ask Me Anything, and I'm thinking I'm going to try to do it on a Saturday morning. I'm thinking December 7th. I'll finalize that, but I do want to have a final kind of study session available for the class if anybody who's interested on, again, probably I'm thinking tentatively the 7th, but I'll confirm that and send out a note. I did receive one question by email, so I do want to answer that question. Student wanted to know where or how do you fit, actually let me go back and make sure I remember what the question is here. Yeah, how do we use synoptic parallels in our interpretation, and where do we fit it in the format? Now, the format on the interpretation is you're going to always start with the question you're trying to answer, then you work off of context. And remember, context is 3 levels: immediate, segment, and the book as a whole. You can make observations, inferences. You want to do a really good job on this one. So dig deep, spend some time If you think you're running out of things to observe, go back and look at that sheet from the beginning, suggestions for improving analysis and observation. This is the key learning this semester, to empower yourself to dig deeply into the Word on your own with your own eyes. So make lots of observations. And then once you've done this, you kind of have a sense, how well have I been able to answer the question? And then you ask yourself, what other sources of data do I need? And one of the sources of data that you can use are the synoptic parallels. And there's a video on how to use those, but essentially what you want to look for, does the text I'm working in have a parallel in Mark, Luke, or even John? If it does, you want to just treat it as its own section, and you want to make observations and inferences. Obviously, the observations are going to be, you're looking for the differences, because if it's exactly the same, there's not a whole lot to infer, but you want to observe what's the difference between Matthew and Mark. So like, for example, back in Matthew 16, Peter's confession was, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." If you look at Mark, he says, "Truly you are the Christ." He doesn't say Son of the living God. So why is that? I mean, that's an important difference, and that would help us to see more clearly what Matthew is trying to do. So that's where it fits in. You can do word study. The last extra source of evidence you use are going to always be commentaries, and make sure you're using at least 2 modern commentaries. You can use Keener in France. You can also get on Asbury Scholar. Those of you who are close to the campus can jump in and look at the commentaries in the library. Maybe you have a pastor that's a good set of commentaries, but use modern commentaries. And then the last thing you do is write your synthesis. Again, if you have any other questions, let me know. Again, I'm rooting for you, I'm praying for you. Again, lots of videos. Let me show the class room one more time to everyone, just to point out something. Let me share this, and I want to show you one other area. So I got a lot of stuff in the class, as you know, but up at the top, got to have handouts. Here's a list of scholarly commentaries, major structures. This is that suggestions for improving observation analysis. Also want you to see all the video helps that I have up here. A lot of these are repeated in the modules below, but this is a lot of the review material for Inductive Bible Study. And as I also mentioned in the last announcement that I sent out yesterday, called Improving Your IBS Work, Finishing Well, I've put it together, the 4 videos that I think would be really helpful to kind of review and inspire you. Again, if I can help you with anything else, you know where to reach me. And again, I'm Brian Russell. It is my privilege to be your professor this semester, and I look forward to reading your outstanding assignments as we get close to the finish line. You're coming around the corner. It's time to sprint. You deserve it. Do your best. Let me know how I can help.